Hello. Today, I am going to be explaining the comparisons and the contrast between Aristotle and Plato. Aristotle is a Greek philosopher who is known for his great work. He's followed his teacher Plato. In the writing Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle explains what the universal good looks like. One of the biggest questions him and Plato has helped answered is what does it take for someone to find true happiness? Aristotle explains how happiness is displayed through action of being a well balanced person, and with the right society structure, happiness could be achieved. He uses the term virtuous as a balanced characteristic trait that adds value to the action of the specific person. Aristotle also uses the term akrasia as described by him a person who displays lack of self mastery, ignorance, and weak, which falls right into temptation of vicious appetites, which is desire. Aristotle believes that a person who is weak and has a vicious appetite knows better but still decides to give in to desire anyway. He believes that the Socratic person is characterized as a conflict between vicious appetite and reasoning. There is something missing. What will it be? This is the void of what it takes to get to obtain complete knowledge. Plato was Aristotle's teacher. He is also one of my favorites, and this is why I choose to choose him. In Plato's piece, The Allegory of the Cave, Plato begins the origin of where knowledge starts is in the concept of darkness. Plato agrees that the knowledge will soon be brought to the light, which is in the form of being. In comparison to Aristotle's lack of self mastery claim, Plato uses the allegory of the cave to express the lack of knowledge of reality is what causes people to live in the dark, which is the void here. The allegory starts with prisoners being isolated and chained in the dark cave, and the prisoners cannot see anything but the shadows from which comes from the puppeteers. In the midst of the light, these prisoners believe that these shadows are the truth because they have never experienced anything different besides what the senses have shown them. The prisoners aren't going to be easy to persuade because this is all they know. They believe the appearances are the truth. As one prisoner is freed from the chains, he leaves the cave to realize that there is more to find out about life than just with the appearances he sees. In comparison to Aristotle, there is a void of what is keeping people from getting to a happy life. Aristotle believes that virtuous activity is the balance of finding mean between two extremes, which makes so much sense when it comes down to understanding the bigger picture. It is possible to overdo virtue, which then becomes vice. Finding the mean will give you a more balanced life. Happiness is practice of virtue action. This is what Aristotle believes is excellence. Also, he believes in the balance of political science. If society appoints opportunities by allowing virtuous actions to be rewarded, being able to provide good for the community and the greater of the complete community is the pursuit. And this is what it takes to get to complete knowledge, which is being able to expose and exercise virtuous activities and finding the balance between them. Plato agrees that the prisoner who finds truth should be happy that therefore are no longer in the dark. All the things which are below the divided line are in the cave. These are the things of the physical world and are changing, mortal, and incomplete. Even sustainable objects are below the divided line because it's limited to the constraints of the physical world. These sensible objects can be compared to beliefs which Plato considers inferior to knowledge. In order to have real knowledge, the belief must be true and justifiable. Above the divided line is a state of being. To the means complete, the states unlike becoming. Being is in a complete state. This is the turning point in which makes a person obtain real knowledge. Connecting material world with the philosophical understanding to said to believe in the light. The spiritual connection is superior, and that's knowledge is different than belief. Real knowledge is real happiness, and this is what Plato and Aristotle connect. In order to live happy and fulfilled life, one must have the understanding of education to obtain real and complete knowledge. So again, Why do people do bad things? Plato and Aristotle beg to differ. Plato defends his argument by stating a person does the wrong thing, they don't know any better. He believes that humans are good, but they don't know the right information. They will not do the right thing. Whereas Aristotle disagrees with Plato, he says that there are times where people know the right thing to do and don't do it anyway. Knowing the right thing to do doesn't always lead up to the right thing. I would agree with Aristotle in this argument that there are times where people know better but don't do it. For example, smoking cigarettes, we know it's harmful, but yet we give into our weak desires. So in conclusion, to find happiness and to find complete and real knowledge through the process of what Plato and Aristotle suggest.